Hello friends of Sudoku, this is another Sudoku by sudoku.com. In this case it is an evil level Sudoku, not the expert that I uploaded a few days ago. The evil level Sudoku by sudoku.com is supposed to be more challenging. Let's see how this one goes, shall we? There is a 9 here that blocks all of these cells from being a 9, and there's a 9 here that blocks these cells. So there's only one real cell that we can place a 9 in this column here, and that is this cell right here. As usual, I just begin by scanning the grid and see what comes up. And a 3 comes up, and the 3 here can see all of these cells, and the 3 here can see all of these cells. So where now can we place a 3 in this column 7? Clearly not here or here because of these 5 cells. There can be seen that this 3 and this 3. And the 3 here can see these 2 cells, leaving only this bottom row cell for a 3. There's an 8 in this cell, and that blocks all the 8s in this column. And that means that an 8 for this box will have to go in one of these 3 cells, won't it? So a ghost 8 here and an 8 here leaves only this cell here for an 8 in the column 5 because of the 8 up here. Now, this 8 and this 8 occupy the first 2 rows, and we need to find an 8 for row 3. So it can't go here, here, or here. And it also can't go in this cell because of this 8. So it needs to go here. Now, this 8 and this 8 block all of these 5 cells from being an 8. And the 8 here blocks these 2 cells, leaving this cell only for an 8. Back to column 5 now. We need to find a 2, 4, and a 6 to complete this column. There's a 4 here and a 2 here that can see this cell, so clearly this must be the 6. Now this 6 and this 6 occupy columns 4 and 5. Where can we now put a 6 in column 6? It can't go in any of these 4 cells because of these 2 6s, right? And it can't go in this cell either because of this 6. Therefore, it must go here. We can find an easy 7 for this row 9, can't we? Because none of these 5 cells can contain a 7 because of the 7 here. And these 2 cells can't contain a 7 because of this 7. And that leaves only this cell for a 7, doesn't it? And here's a little bit of logic. Now the 7 here and the 7 here will force a 7 in one of these 2 cells, right? And this 7 here blocks these 2 cells from a 7, and this 7 blocks these 3 cells from a 7. So we know that a 7 for this column 8 will have to go here or here. So a 7 here and a ghost 7 here or here puts a 7 in one of these 2 cells. So now we have a 7 in one of these 2 cells and in one of these 2 cells. Where now can we place a 7 in this row 3? It can't go here because a 7 for this block will have to go here or here. Nor can it go here because of this 7. And it also can't go here because of this 7. So we found a 7, didn't we? Now we have to ask ourselves, where can we place a 6 in row 3 rather? Where can we place a 6 in this row? It can't go here because of this 6. It can't go here because of this 6. So it has to go here. There's just no other place for it. The two remaining digits for this row will be a 4 and a 5, and they are easy to place because the 5 here prevents the 5 from going in this cell, which now is a 4, and the 5 goes here. It is now all too clear that these two cells will have to be a 6 and a 9, won't they? Because of the 6 and a 9 up here. We need to find a 6 and a 9 for these two cells, and therefore a 3 and a 4 for these two cells. So if one of these two cells up here has to be a 3, then we know that this cell cannot be a 3 because of that 3 here. And this cell cannot be a 3 because one of these cells will have to be a 3, right? And that leaves just this cell for a 3. And this 3 now, and the 3 here, they now occupy columns 5 and 6. Where can we place a 3 now in column 4? It can't go in these two cells because of this 3, and it can't go in this cell because of this 3, so it needs to go here. So these two cells being a 3 and a 4 in some order, then these two cells will have to be a 2 and a 7, because we need a 2 and a 7 to complete this 3 by 3 block. There's a 7 here that blocks this cell from being a 7, therefore it must be a 2, and this is a 7. These two remaining cells in row 1 will have to be a 1 and a 5. And therefore these three cells will have to be a 2, 4, and a 7. Now, remember how we said that this 7 here and this 7 here puts a 7 in one of these two cells. Let's call this a ghost 7. And that means that the 7 can't go here. And it also can't go here because of this 7. So we now know that this cell must be a 7. The rest now have to be a 2 and a 4 in some order. We might as well plug in a 1 in this cell because there's no other place that we can put a 1 in this column 4. It can't go in either of these two cells because of the 1 already present in this box. So the 1 will have to go here. And that leaves these two cells, and they have to be an 8 and a 2. An 8 and a 2 for these two cells, leaving just this cell to figure out, and of course that now has to become a 4. Now the 4 here and the 4 here puts a 4 in this cell, doesn't it? These two cells now have to be a 2 and a 5, and that's easy enough because we have this 2 that blocks a 2 from going here. So this is a 5 and this is a 2. The 2 here occupies this row and this 2 occupies row 5. Where can we now place a 2 in row 6? Clearly not here or here because of this 2, and not here either because of this 2. Therefore it goes here. As we mentioned a moment ago, these two cells will have to be a 2 and an 8, and we have an 8 already in this row, so clearly the 2 goes here and the 8 here, right? And I think that we can place the 6 and a 9 here, can't we? Because we got a 6 here. And that places a 9 in this cell and a 6 in this one. Remember that these two cells had to be a 3 and a 4 in some order, and the 6 here and the 9 here force a 6 and a 9 in these two cells. I want now to look at the 9s, and in particular the 9s for this etude of 3 boxes. A 9 clearly can't go in this cell because of the 9 here. So a 9 will have to go in this cell or in this cell to get a 9 for column 2. So a ghost 9 here and a 9 here forces a 9 in this cell for column 3. It can't go here because of this 9. So the 9 will have to go here. And now we got a 4, 9 here, and we got a 4, 9 here, and it so happens that we still need a 4 and a 9 to complete these two cells, don't we? We don't know which goes where yet, but we know that that leaves only one cell to be filled, and that's got to be a 5. And we can find an 8 for column 3, can't we? Because it can't go here because of this 8. It can't go here because of this 8. It can't go here because of this 8, and that means we can plug it in here. And now the 8 here can see all of these cells, and this 8 occupies all of column 2. We still need an 8 for column 1. And since it can't go in these two cells because of this 8, nor can it go here because of this 8. And this 8 also prevents it from going here. So it must go here. We need a 1, 3, and a 7 to complete these three cells. There's a 7 here, and there's a 7 here, and that gives us this 7 here. And this is now a 1 because of the 1 up here, and that makes this cell a 3, like so. Remember the 3 and the 4? We still need it up here. There's a 3 now here that can see this cell, so the 4 will go here, and the 3 here. Now this 3 and this 3, they take care of columns 1 and 3. How about now for a 3 for column 2? We got a 3 here, and we got a 3 here, so we know that the 3 will have to go here. There's just no other place it can go. The last cell for column 3 now is going to be a 2. And with this 2 here, and we have a 2 already in this row 7, we need to find a 2 for row 9, and it needs to go in one of these two cells now. And there's a 2 already in column 9, so the 2 is confined to this space right here. Now the 2 here and the 2 here leaves only this cell for column 7 for a 2, because we have a 2 up here in the top row, don't we? The last digit here is going to be a 4 to complete row 2. We still can't do anything about the 1 and the 5 that we had going on here, but I'm sure we'll get around to it. We also have a 1 and a 5 here that we need to do something about in due time. First, we can plug in a 1 in this cell because we got this 1 here and we got this 1 here, and they force a 1 into this cell. The last digit to complete column 1 now is going to be a 4. So this 4 and this 4 take care of these two rows. We still need to find a 4 for the bottom row, and therefore it has to go here. There's just no other place. And when we scan upwards now, we can see this 4 and we can see this 4. We still need to find a 4 for column 7. Can't go here, nor can it go here because of these two 4s. And we already have a 4 in this row and in this row. So the 4 will have to go here. Remember the last digit? That's right, it was a 9. It needs to go here. A 9 here and here puts a 9 in this cell, like so. And in this cell, of course, because we can't have a 9 here now, can we? Instead, we have to find a 5 for this cell. The last digit for row 7 is going to be a 6. And now the 6 here and the 6 here. And the 6 here gives us a 6 for this row 5. The last digit for the row is going to be a 5 to complete the row. And that gives us a 5 for this cell here. And remember, we still needed a 1 and a 5 for these two cells. This 5 now puts a 1 in this cell and a 5 in this cell. Now, the last digit missing here, of course, now is a 1, and the 1 here and the 1 here gives us a 1 for row 4, like so. And if we've done everything correctly, the last digit here is going to be a 7. Let's check and see what happened. Yes, it looks like we got it right. So if you want to feel like an evil Sudoku solver person, you go to sudoku.com and you try to find an evil level puzzle. This is the most difficult level you can find on the website. And if you can solve it, and even without using pencil marks, you know that you've got it made. Thank you for watching, and see you again back here soon. Bye for now.